This lesson and technique have provided me with valuable learnings and experience, highlighting the strengths and areas that I need improvement in my teaching ability. This critical reflection has shown me that although I executed the teaching technique clearly, it may not be a technique that I regularly use on a whole class level in the future. The break it down technique involves providing the smallest hint to engaged students to figure out the answer, as stated by Lemov. I feel as though this is a great technique, but should not be the main focus within a lesson, more a teaching skill that educators can access throughout the class. Upon reflecting and the feedback provided by my mentor, was that more differentiated instruction from students or to the students of a lower level would have been more beneficial. And by keeping a focus group with me throughout this, I could have provided better break it down techniques and provided more information to them when they needed it. I could have worked closer with them to fully explain the task and provide information before sending them away to complete the work. And I also needed to figure out how to challenge the students further that were of a higher ability, which then brought me to the conclusion that in future I would be more inclined to use the exemplar planning technique developed by Lemov, and it would be more beneficial and more effective than the break it down technique. Waiting for students to have a misconception or misunderstanding felt too late to have real impact, and providing the needed information in small pieces and small information, small hints, felt less like engaging their inquisitive nature and more like the information was reaching them too late in the process, thus making those misconceptions deeper, and they'd progressed too far through the work before I was able to even realize that they were going down in the wrong direction. Students were often left waiting for answers or hints to be provided, where I would have preferred to give them the tools to figure it out on their own prior to engaging in the lesson. And too often I believe that students were individually having similar misconceptions to one another, but were unable to provide whole class hints, as it would be too interruptive, thus having to provide single individual hints quite often. That then created a bit of disconnection throughout the lesson and also quite a few interruptions. But despite this, I felt like the lesson itself as a whole was well structured and I successfully achieved the desired learning outcomes. It just could have been done more efficiently. The content and the objects were clear and the students grasped the concepts. But to reiterate, I just felt as though my intervening could have been eliminated by better explanation or better planning. In future, my personal goal is to have forward thinking and anticipate the potential issues that may arise during a lesson. And I aspire to engage in Lemov's exemplar planning to account for a wide range of scenarios that may take place and questions and answer any questions or queries that students may have within the lesson or the lesson sequence. And this approach will equip me with the tools to be able to adapt my lesson in order to account for the students' needs, as well as minimize breaks and interruptions throughout the lesson, thus maintaining higher levels of student engagement and better flow within the classroom. Finally, the reflection has helped me develop my own teaching pedagogy through the act of actually teaching and being involved in a real life classroom environment. I'm now able to discover what I want my own future classroom to look like, rather than just seeing all these techniques on a page or on the internet. And acknowledging my strengths and my areas for improvement allow me to look forward to how I can improve my lessons and grow as an educator. And I'm committed and excited to see how I can work on these areas, becoming a more effective and engaging teacher. And I think that begins by preparing my lessons and setting up the students for success by giving them the tools to be able to problem solve and be at the center of their own learning journey, which I think could be really influenced well by exemplar planning.